Hello everyone, it's match day here at Ibrox Stadium press room. I am joined by four lads' favourite and feeling a wee bit nervous today. Sheryl Ritchie. Sheryl, how are you?
Nervous. As you said, I think I'm nervous enough for the both of us because you're not nervous, but I'm extremely nervous. So I think I'm doing both of us at the moment.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you to Alan, who's just put the boards on behind us. The teams are out. Let's run through them. Rangers are Jack Butland in goals, Nasser Jiga, James Tavernier, Jayden Mohammed and John Souttars. Mohammed left, obviously Tav is in it right. Max Aarons is out. The midfield, somewhat of a surprise in there. Mohammed, Diomande, Tello, Asgard and Connor Barron. There is no Lyle Cameron in the squad at all. He is injured and Joe Rothwell drops to the bench. Up front, again, another surprise. There is no Tello Ant-Man. He is on the bench also. And no, Oliver Ant-Man. Why am I calling him Tello? And Mikey Moore is in on the right-hand side with Jedi Gassama on the left. But Bojan Majowski starts up front. Rangers substitute bench is Liam Kelly, Max Aarons, Emmanuel Fernandez, Finlay Curtis, Joe Rothwell, Nadeem Bayrami, Cyril Dessers, Danilo and Ollie Ant-Man. Sheryl, your first impressions of that team?
A couple of big calls. I was very surprised by him starting Mikey Moore, but again, young, no fear, probably quite eager to get at them. Diomande, game might suit him. We know he kind of produces in the bigger games. Hasn't really had a great start to the season, but this might be his turning point. His tanker might be starting to turn right now, hopefully. And Miovski, great, 32 goals in the league, 2 of them against Celtic. So, yep, I'm very, very excited to see him. But a couple of big calls. No Max Aarons, which I think is great, going on how he's been so far. Tav back in there, we know that he's a wee bit susceptible during Old Firm games, but I think he's a far better option than Max Aarons. We've seen that on Wednesday. Fingers crossed, Stevie.
Aarons and Joe Rothwell, I think, had to come out. I don't think he's got any choice with that. Obviously, the biggest issue missing from that squad is Nico Raskin. Now, he told us he's not injured and he was at training. He was a very politician and cute answer. Nico Raskin was at training, but he wasn't training with the Rangers first team. We know that. He is not at the stadium today. And it appears like Nico Raskin has a long way back. If he wants to be part of Russell Martin's thinking, he's a Belgian international. He's been pivotal in the victories and recent results against Celtic. And yes, you can argue these games have been over with or whatever, but not to have him in, I think it's a huge call. To start Connor Barron is an even bigger call. To bring Mohammed Diomande in, midfield's where it's won and lost, and that to me is the biggest issue. I haven't seen enough of Tello Asgard, although I was impressed early on and things that I'd seen. It's a hell of an ass to game today that I'm starting to think that maybe he'll be one that we might slightly need to carry in midfield. He's going to be more of an attacker, and that's where it's won and lost. Midfield and defence to me, you know, it's a weird thing. It's switched almost. Attack looks okay. Midfield defence.
Yeah, for the first time in ages, look, my worry is the midfield looks a wee bit lightweight. In fact, I think it looks extremely lightweight. The only thing, like you say, a big plus not having Joe Rothwell in. He started really, really poorly. I like a man down. So hopefully we get one of the Old Firm performances from Diomande that we know that he can give. Barron, if nothing else, gives you a wee bit of energy. He will run, he will move, and he will get stuck in. But yeah, like you say, it's actually quite nice to have some options up front and to have a good proven goal scorer up front that we know can score 2 against Celtic, so we know that he can do that up front. But defence and midfield still a massive worry.
Yeah, I wonder if Gassama is going to swap with Mikey Moore. I wonder if Mikey will start left and Gassama will start on the right hand side, which is interesting because Gassama's obviously been so good on the left. We just need to wait and see how that works out. Celtic team is also out. Casper Schmeichel in goals, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Tony Ralston, Liam Scales and Kieran Tierney are the defence. Fullbacks are wide open in my opinion. Tierney and Ralston. Tierney is not the player we thought he was, although you'll get 120% out of him today. Rio Hattie, Callum McGregor and Arnie Engels is a very strong midfield, unfortunately for me. And then up front, it's just pace everywhere. Dyson Maeda, Benjamin Nygren and their new signing Mikel Ange Balikwisha. Who knows if that's right. On the bench, Sinisalo, the goalkeeper, Saraki, Dane Murray, Donovan, McCowan, Forrest, Bernardo and Shin Yamada. That is not a strong bench. And it's not a strong defence for Celtic. It's definitely there. Liam Scales, Kieran Tierney, Tony Ralston are all weak players. If you give them time, they will be able to play at the back, but if you get on top of them, midfield's really strong, Sheryl. Hatate, McGregor and the Engels. Bayrami done a really good job of closing down Callum McGregor. I should imagine that Tello Asgard's going to be asked to do the same, which means that Diomande will pick up Hatate and it leaves Barron to pick up Engels. I can see that being it. The biggest issue for me is your wide positions. Nygrim and Belisha are lightning quick, and Maeda's just a pressing and quickness monster. Now, if we mess about with it at the back the way we have been, and we defend like the way we have been, and as high as we have been, the space in between and behind them is going to be almost asking for it. That's my biggest issue.
Look, it's frustrating because we all speak about how poorly they've started this season, particularly in Europe. They're not a great team. We know this. They're there to be got at.
They're not vibing, are they?
They're not vibing, no, but they're vibing more than us. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and that's the frustrating thing about it. Kind of similar to last season as well. I think if we can press, particularly Ralston, and get in their faces early door, but that's a big question. Are we able to do that? Maybe a wee bit more confident with Miovski starting up front. But like you say, the worry is the defence against those three up front and the amount of space and the amount of speed that they'll have as well.
It's interesting because I wonder if Miovski will try and pin himself on Scales. If he tries to pin himself on Scales, I think he'll ask for it to his feet so that he can turn. So that's going to be something I'm interested to watch. And Moore and Gassam, the idea should be get the ball to him straight away, and let's see how that works. But we'll have everything from the gantry when we go up. We're just about to go up there now. Sheryl, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask for a prediction, but I think it's fair to say all we want is some progress, and we want a Rangers performance, which we've arguably not had in several games. Has to be the bare minimum.
Absolutely. Well, I believe on Wednesday, the presser on Friday, this was the game where we could put everything right and we were going to show up. So it's whether we do it. And I'm going to give you a prediction. 2-1 Rangers. That's my prediction.
Let's hope that's right. We'll be back soon, folks, with hopefully all the Rangers action and hopefully all the Rangers goals, because I can't really take it being anything else. Let's see how this goes. 15 minutes gone, it remains 0-0. Probably the most controversial moment is Bojan Miovski's behind Scales. He looks to get a nudge in the back. He goes down, no penalty, no VAR check. It looks like either that or they've sorted it pretty quickly. Rangers have been in control until a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, that pass for Barron. Barron's actually been quite on it. First 15 minutes, the pass for Barron into Miovski. It did look from where we were a penalty, but not even checked. And I believe we've had a shout from behind us that said he didn't actually touch him. However, as you say, still a penalty.
Oh, it's a definite penalty. We'll always say that. Celtic are starting to control it a wee bit, which we don't want. Rangers have started off well with it. Neither keeper tested yet. We are just over 16 minutes in. It remains 0-0. This is the part we don't want it to get into. And it all started, Rangers have been getting the ball up until just Conor Barron pressing there. But Rangers, Jack Butland played Rangers into trouble at the back. If Rangers are pressing here, which is better from them, can't allow Celtic to have the ball and control it. Mikey Moore's trying to press up. It remains 0-0, Sheryl, but Rangers have got to try. As Giga just at the back, just not looking, gets it to Butland and Butland clears it. It's one of those games, folks, we are on the end of our nerves. It's still 0-0, we're 16 gone. 33 minutes on the clock, Rangers 1, Celtic 0. It's a free kick in the middle of the box. It's Ralston who fouls, it's lofted in, and we think it's John Souttars that makes it. Rangers lead 1-0, Sheryl, and it's largely deserved.
Giga giving us a few heart attack moments at the back, but in the main, Stevie, decent rate all points.
Of course. Cyril Dessers isn't on, so we do have a chance, but that would just be typical. Is he offside? Yeah, he's offside. He is offside. Aye. I think he's going to be given for offside. That's certainly what the word is. Just typical, really. Yeah, it's beginning to walk back. We think it is going to be offside. Yeah, it is. It's offside, unfortunately. So it does not count. Just typical. Sheryl, Rangers have started well, 30 odd, 33 gone. That moment, it's probably the cleanest cut opportunity we've had. John Souttars must go early. He went early in a free kick before that. It's a right dagger to the heart, that one.
It really is, because like you say, Stevie, decent pressure, a lot more fight. The only thing is, Chica at the back, I think, is on a one-man mission to see how many people he can give a heart attack at the one time. He needs to get the ball away first time, get it away a bit quicker. A couple of times he's been caught, but other than that, no. Hey, good start.
Yeah, it is. That's such a shame. But it is one of those moments. We've had two things go against us so far, but it looks like he's quite clearly offside. The boys to my left gave me it straight away from This Is Ibrox. The voices of doom. Cheers, lads. But I killed the excitement fairly quickly. It remains 0-0. Yeah. Hopefully next one it'll count. 63 gone, it's 0-0, and not a lot's happened. Sheryl, one shot from Atati. Celtic have a free kick now. Mikey Moore's just been booked, but apart from that, there's not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot going. We're kind of struggling to get a hold of it as much as we did in the first half. Any changes? The only one I'm thinking maybe Stevie is Asgard. I think he's been caught a few times on the ball. He's wanting far more time than he's going to get here. That's the only change I would maybe think of at the moment.
When you think about Ant-Man coming on, Celtic's free kick at the moment, it's about 63 going. Nygren's going to swing this in. Can't get it clear, the shot comes in, it's deflected. Oh, Kieran Tierney with an overhead kick which goes straight at Butland. He's going to go long to try and find Majowski. Mix up in the back. Oh, they get it clear and then manage to get it forward, and Barron cuts out. It remains 0-0. Celtic are going to bring on Yang and Forrest. They have to try and do something. They've looked very, very... It's actually Shin that's coming on for Engels and their new boys coming off for Forrest, but they've not looked great. Rangers aren't creating it, and that's the biggest thing. We're not getting the ball to Moore or Gassam in any position. He did get away from Tierney, but the end ball was blocked. Needs more, Sheryl, at this moment in time.
Absolutely. We also need, have we won a header all afternoon? Maybe other than the offside.
The one that was offside.
The offside goal. Other than that, no. We need a bit more here. Need to get a grip of the game, CV.
65 gone, it's 0-0. 85 gone, it's still 0-0, and I'd love to say there was loads to talk about. There's not. It's Dessers, Curtis and Ant-Man on up front. Rothwell's on for Barron in the middle as well, and Bayrami's on for Theo Algard. It's not a lot happening, Sheryl.
No, not a lot. I think the biggest concern is it looked like Barron went off with an injury, maybe a hamstring injury. But other than that, Stevie, we're not keeping a hold of the ball, not really creating anything, and left on our nerves a wee bit the last kind of 5-10 minutes, so I can't see either team scoring, to be honest.
No, it'll be a mistake or something, if anything. It's a free kick for Rangers. Finlay Curtis pushed down. He's done well there, Finlay Curtis. Just take your time, and we've not crossed it once properly, Sheryl, in this half either. Certainly need more. I'd love to be positive and say that Celtic have had a couple of chances from Nygren has fired over Kieran Tierney's acrobatic effort, which Butland saved. Aside of that, it's still 0-0. 86 gone. 0-0 at full time, Davey. We're now down in the press room. It was fairly poor, wasn't it?
It was a game I think neither team could really afford to lose it for various reasons. It looked to me as if they both kind of half settled for a draw well before the end. I think we can say Rangers put a better effort in today. They looked more organised and solid today than they've been recently, but they still don't look as if they've got a great deal of threat up front, and they still worry the hell out of me at the back with me to try and keep the ball too much.
Yeah, I think we overplay at times, but we created absolutely nothing. I don't think we had a shot on target in the second half. Kasper Schmeichel barely had a thing to do in the whole game. The closest we came was obviously the offside goal from John Souttars. Butland, a couple of straightforward catches that were at him from Nygren and Tierney, but aside of that, I worry about the fact we are creating very little.
Yeah, well, that's 4 league games. I think that's what a penalty, a corner, and a goal which fell from a corner.
Yeah.
We've actually not cut any team open yet and scored a goal through open play. And you're right to worry about it. And there looks to be creative players in the team, so there must be it must be how we get them into the game that's the problem, I think. And
we're certainly not managing it, that's for sure. You did rightly point out we were more organised, we are more compact today at least. They didn't play it as high at times. No. But I mean, it generally looked like, as you said before we came on, two bald men fighting over a comb. It wasn't the greatest football match at all in the slightest, to say the least. I genuinely worry about us going forward. We have the players, it seems, but we don't seem to have the patterns of play. We don't seem to have the creativeness around it yet, and that to me is a huge issue, and that's the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think that, as I've said, we're not. It's not just we're not scoring enough goals. There's very few league games so far that you can say we created a lot of chances in them.
No, we haven't. No.
I mean, at Paisley, I think it took about an hour for our first shot goal.
Yep.
Against Dundee, again, I think it took to be about 10 men to win the last 20 minutes before we looked at the Today, yeah, we got a goal disallowed. We had a couple of half chances in the first half, no more than that. But yeah, we just don't know what's scoring. And at least we kept a clean sheet. That's the first clean sheet in the league so far. But yeah, we're miles off it yet.
As you said during the week, we're still on course for 38 points this season with 38 draws, because it certainly doesn't look like we're going to win many creating this opportunity. But the final man of the match was Mohammed Diomande, who was fairly decent. Conor Barron, who I thought put in a hell of a shift, but attacking wise there wasn't a lot going on. It's not even like Jack Butland had a lot to do, because it was all fairly straightforward. So both teams, as Davey said before we come in, probably shook hands on that last night and could have saved us all time. But the attendance today was 50,013. Finishes Rangers 0, Celtic 0, and a rather boring 90 minutes if we're truly honest.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoy.